Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm spiritual coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, July 20th, 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new to this podcast, please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com. And even if you're not new, please check out my website because it has all of my upcoming events, all new services, and you can schedule an appointment through. There's a button on every page. It's a button on every page to do that. And all appointments are scheduled online. And for those of you who give referrals, thank you. I think in my work, it's necessary to have referrals. I really feel it's the only way to get referrals or to get an appointment is through referrals. So thank you so much for sending clients my way. I appreciate it. I'm also, by the way, not just on that website, but on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. I'm on Facebook under Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Medium. And for those of you here on YouTube and other platforms such as Spotify, iHeart, and all the others that amaze me, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share if you can. I would appreciate it so very much. Today's topic. Today's topic is actually about the natural laws of the universe. And we often hear about the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, the law of vibration. But there's actually more than just a few laws. And some of them actually are very similar. So similar, there's such a subtle difference that you might not even be aware of the difference between them. But I thought this was a good day to go over the 12 natural laws of the universe. And these laws are now known to be scientific. This is based in quantum physics, where they really come. Honestly, we learned about them through the tradition of Tibetan and Hermetic laws. Ancient laws have spoken about, actually it's in the Bible, have spoken about natural law. And so it's not something new, even though sometimes we hear it's new. It's not new. It's been, really, we've known about these natural laws for thousands of years. And it is my work, and a work of many others on this planet, to help all of our students, listeners, everyone, to understand that every moment of your day, every moment of your life is impacted by these natural laws. There are so many of us that still look outside of ourselves for things happening. If we pray, we look outward to a Father God, or a Blessed Mother, to answer our prayer. If we are looking for prosperity, we look outside ourselves for the prosperity. If we are going through a diagnosis, we're looking outward for the cure. When we're a team, we are part of it. We are creating every moment of every day through our thoughts, our feelings, and our words, through our vibration, through who we are. Neville Goddard and many teachers have, Joe Dispenza, and all the great teachers have spoken, and really even the great successful entrepreneurs have spoken about we get what we are. The universe responds to us. And it's even beyond what we say and what we think. It's who we are at the core of ourselves. But if we can tune in, have awareness of what we are emitting from ourselves, we are deliberately creating. We are truly at the steering wheel of our lives. We are anyway, but we're doing it consciously, you see. And something interesting happened And I believe, actually, I might have briefly mentioned it in a previous podcast. Recently, I met someone very briefly. And in my work, and what I do as far as intuitive coaching is what I call it, which is intuition teamed with life coaching. I read energy. I am not a fortune teller. There is no such thing as fortune tellers. It's not real. So I recently met someone who's very interested in really fortune tellers and, having that psychic party. And I was told this once and then it happened, as if, they must have been real because it happened, again, outside of ourselves. So when I explained that I am not a fortune teller, that I read energy, and then through your current energy that you've admitted, I now help you to really make changes in your life for the better, the person got more scared. I'm not, by the way, it just amazes me. I'm not laughing at them, but they actually got more scared. And I've really been pondering that. Like, why would it scare them more to know that they can change their life? Because we don't want the responsibility. We want to know that life is random. We want to know that there's good luck and there's bad luck. And, are we cursed or are we not cursed? And, by the way, no one's ever cursed unless their thoughts and feelings are cursing themselves, unless they're open to it. All right? And so, it threw me a bit that, because you would think they'd be empowered. And by the way, not a judgment, just in case that sounded that way. I was just surprised, that they were more open to sitting with like game parlors than they were to really having empowerment over their lives. But I guess it is scary, isn't it? To have that full power, to know that you can, that it's your responsibility, that you have it, that you are in charge. I guess that can be large, right? But it doesn't have to be. I get excited about it. I love when what I'm working on is working. I love seeing the magic and miracles around me that I know that I'm participating in, that it's not just random, as I said again, that it's not just happenstance, that I am, a part of the energy of the universe and using it. And I've been noticing more lately, more than ever before, the synchronicities, which again, coincidences. Now, I had to make a decision recently regarding a number, and then I manifested a vehicle. And the vehicle's new license plate had the number. And I noted that. Look at that. That's a sign. It's the littlest little sign, but it's a sign. So I notice all those little whispers. I notice too. I just had it happen separately, different number, 3 times in seconds that I saw the same number. That was a message from the universe. And so I notice what people say if they say same thing over and over and over again, different people. I notice if, and I've said this before, if you listen before, when I'm on the internet, things pop up out of nowhere, or people pop up and suddenly they're everywhere. And I'm like, wait, that's the universe is telling me to pay attention to this particular teacher. And so there's guidance always happening for all of us. And you are being guided as well. All you have to do is be alert, to be aware. Not, though, necessarily wait. Don't wait for, the universe works with you, and it will do for you. But we're a team. Be aware of that guidance system that's always working for you. So, involved in this are the 12 natural laws of the universe. And some will say there's 10, some will say there's more. And honestly, I didn't know there were 12. I learned it. I am sharing with you what I learned this week. All right. But they do govern our existence and our interactions with the whole cosmos. So I want to give you a brief overview, but also tell you this is very brief because I'm learning about them too. And I'll try my best to help you. But if you need further definition, please, if you're listening on YouTube, comment, or you can email me at serenitygarborough@verizon.net. Now, some of these I wouldn't consider natural law, and the first one I wouldn't. I would just think it's just the way it is. But the first one is called the law of divine oneness. And this law emphasizes that everything in the universe is interconnected, that we are all one, that what impacts one impacts all of us. And I say that all the time. I know that we are oneness, right? We're all connected. All of our actions, our thoughts, and our decisions impact everything around us. And it doesn't matter if you know the person or not. It doesn't matter if you are in New Jersey and they're in Bora Bora. What happens there impacts everyone. It impacts me. So that's why it's so important to have compassion when you hear something. You're not separate from it. Ego teaches us separation. Oftentimes, traditional religion teaches us separation. Man teaches us separation. But we are not separate. We are always eternally connected to each other. So it's so very important to know that your actions impact the whole. Your thoughts impact the whole. Your feelings impact the whole. And the whole impacts you always. So compassion, kindness, gratitude, generosity, so very important because it builds the best. It increases what we really want to have in our universe. The second law is the law of vibration, which I know about through a great teacher, Bob Proctor. Everything in this universe, again, including our thoughts and emotions, vibrates at a frequency. Higher frequencies attract more positive energy. Lower frequencies attract negative energy. You attract who you are, as I said in the very beginning. So now here's the thing. I want to say this. If you're having a day where you're sad, it's all right to have a day that's sad. It's all right to have a day when you're cranky. It's when you live there, when you're living in a bad mood. When you're living in a bad mood, you're going to have more happen to you that increases your mood. That is not what you really want. Right? Lower vibration, like crankiness, anger, rage, jealousy, any of those lower emotions are going to attract more circumstances that increase those emotions. So we want to keep our energy as high as possible. We want to raise that vibration. We want to believe in ourselves. We want to, love ourselves as much as entirely, truly. We want to feel positive as much as we can. And that especially when we're trying to manifest, the happier we are, the greater and quicker our manifestations will be. And here's the thing with this vibration. there's a subconscious self. And 95% of our habits and really what we think on an ongoing basis and feel is from our subconscious mind. It's from the beliefs that we were given. And 5% is us actively working on it. So yes, it's possible to overcome the 95%. That's what hypnosis and meditation does. Affirmations. It's what we're really teaching right now. We can get through that 95%. So it's an active participation in really going inward and doing that healing and knowing where you vibrate from. And when you get an acknowledgement of what you're vibrating from, let's say you realize this is something that your mother taught you or your mother made you feel, you go into the forgiveness, you go into the healing, you go into the work, all right? Because in that healing, you raise your vibration, and then you're ready for what you really would ask for in your life. There was, I saw on YouTube recently a teacher, a coach, speak about, why are people who know about these laws, why are they poor when they know about these laws and they are trying to practice them? And what they said was, it's about the trauma. It's the trauma that's stored in their 95%. And, healers are great. Healers are usually people who are really working on their healing. And so, it's not unusual for someone that will say, why don't I have the results that I want? And you don't have the results that you want because you're still going through that healing process. But don't give up on it. Be aware of what you're feeling, what you're saying, what you're doing. How are you stopping yourself? How are you blocking yourself? But continue. Keep with the work for the breakthrough. The next natural law is the law of correspondence. And this one's a little bit new to me. It states that patterns in the universe mirror each other. So what you feel on the outside, you will see on the outside. You will see in your environment. If you feel unworthy, you'll see situations that reinforce your unworthiness. And also, not only is your outside mirroring you, but the solar system mirrors itself too. The structure of an atom can mirror the structure of the solar system. So it's like I'm tired today. I apologize, I'm not as eloquent as I'd like to be. But it's like we are copying, one copies off the other. And so that's a natural law. It naturally happens. Seeing it, again, for you personally, will tell you what work you need to do. If you're seeing people around you treating you disrespectfully, how are you disrespecting yourself? It's a blessing. It's information for you to go to work at and go to work with. All right. Fourth one, the law of attraction. Like attracts like. Positive thoughts attract positive experiences. See, they're very similar. The law of correspondence is more universal. The law of vibration is very similar. But it really is the same. It's like a bounce off. What you focus on is what you get. And so you got to make sure you're focusing on what you really want. Don't think thoughts of revenge or negativity or vengeance or rage, anger, jealousy, all of that, because it bounces right back to you. This one's cool. Fifth, the law of inspired action. In order to manifest anything we want in our lives, we must take action that is inspired by goals and intentions. You ever hear, I know you've heard, heaven helps those who help themselves. You take a bit of inspired action, the universe sets up 20 steps to help you. It just asks for you to take one small step. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, you may not see the whole staircase, but just take that one step. Inspired action is not forced action. It may be scary, though. But notice the fear and move anyway. The most successful people in this world are those who feel the fear but take the inspired action anyway. And some would tell you that it's important to take a lot of fearful steps to do what you really are scared of, because that puts notice out to the universe that you're serious, that you do want what you're asking for. So, inspired action. When it comes to you out of nowhere, take the action, that idea. Creativity. Honor that creativity within yourself. Number 6, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This one's natural. This is just how it is. Energy is constantly changing and evolving. We can transform negative energy into positive energy through our actions and thoughts again. And it's ever responding to it. It's like a natural ebb and flow. I see it almost like the infinity symbol. It's coming around, it's going around, circling. Sorry, I touched my microphone. But it's ever responding to us, right? And so energy is always changing, and it changes in a second, by the way. It's amazing how much it can change. It responds in 1 second to us and 1 second to what's happening in the universe. And it's just naturally there. It's doing it whether you're paying attention to it or not. 7 we know about. Oh boy, do we know about this one. The law of cause and effect, or as we like to call it, karma. Every action has a reaction. There's a consequence to every action. No one gets away with anything. There's always a ripple effect. There's always justice, even if you don't see it. It's just the way it is. I always have said that I think that's like the greatest law that the source energy set up. And yes, if you are religious, God set up. It's just autopilot. It takes care of itself. If you cut somebody off in traffic, you're going to get cut off. Or something else is going to happen to you that equals that moment. But it's natural. It's not meant to punish. It's just a natural effect of energy. This one is another one that great teachers like Bob Proctor would have spoken about. Number 8, the law of compensation. We are rewarded for our efforts and contributions. The more we give, the more we receive. And so when you ask for receive, you have to when you are grateful, when you're giving gratitude for what you're receiving, you also have to give something in return. There are no takers in this universe to get away with it. It's give, receive, give, receive. So how do I use the law of compensation? I give more than I charge, but I don't give for free. Even this podcast that you're listening to for free, and I'm giving for free, there is something in some exchange that you will give because of it. Maybe it's the way you treat another. Hopefully you take what you've heard, you connect with it, and you internally and externally make great changes to your life in a giving and generous way. So there always has to be some exchange, whether it be a bartering, no matter what it is. What you give, you receive. So the more you give, the more you receive. If you give something equal to being a billionaire, you're a billionaire. If you give something equal to something else, that's what you get. And so that exchange is there, right? And so when you're setting your goals and your dreams and your intentions, remember to go a little bit larger, because you can receive. Just give exchange. So I'll give you an example before I move on. Bob Proctor loved to say this. It was, he's known for this. I am so happy and grateful now. And then you add what you want, and you're thankful for it. It's presently happening, even though you're asking for it. So let's say you say, I am so happy and grateful now that I have $10,000. Then you add, and in exchange for this $10,000, I am doing this. You see, there is an exchange of compensation, what you're giving back for what you're receiving. Yeah, I hope that made sense. Number 9, the law of relativity. Everything's relative. Everything happening is connected to each other. All experiences and challenges are relative to our perspective and context. Now, this sounds to me more like a natural law, like gravity, which is just happening. But yeah, everything, again, it's another. Now, the next one's going to get you because it's kind of the opposite. But it's like, again, everything's connected. Everything's working in conjunction. Number 10, the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. Understanding and embracing both sides of a situation can lead to balance and harmony. So sometimes we see the opposite. Sometimes people will say this, and I've had it happen to me, where you're doing your affirmations, you're feeling, you're intending, you're confirming, and then the opposite happens. A simple example would be you're affirming wealth, and then your car breaks down, or your washing machine breaks, or something maybe even larger. And you're like, that's the opposite of what I've been working on. That's the law of polarity. But it's a clearing out. It means that had to happen in order for you, and to test you, in order for you to open up to what you are intending to receive. So that's why embrace the situation, knowing that when you get through this time of the opposite, you're on your way to what you really want to manifest. Number 11, also new to me this week, the law of rhythm. The life operates in cycles and rhythms, natural cycles. What goes up generally is going to come down. And again, ebbs and flows. We're not always, even people who are masters, who have gotten human experience, though, I don't think, it probably isn't happening, though I don't want to say that. I don't want to say someone hasn't mastered 24/7. But generally, human beings, we have feelings. So that consciousness has to be there all the time for us to be true masters. That's why Bob Proctor, to the end of his life, was still studying, still reading, still focusing on these master teachings and such, because he knew how important it was to have that discipline, that focus. We can get off track by events and people in our lives. So even if you've managed to float above it all, to be in a state of positive vibration all the time, there's still the law of rhythm. That means that sometimes something's going to knock you down, but you get back up again. It's temporary. It's just part of the natural rhythm of things. And then life goes back up again. You ride the ride, is what I'm telling you, okay? Number 12, the law of gender. Yeah, I talked about this, I think, maybe a couple weeks ago on the podcast. There's a masculine and feminine energy. And the important thing for this world is to balance these energies. To make sure that you're in touch not just with your feminine side if you're a woman, but your masculine side too. And on the masculine side, that you're in touch with your feminine side. And if they lean too much, if you lean, the masculine, by the way, is the, I'm going to start with the feminine. It's easier. Maybe because I'm a girl. The feminine is your more spiritual side. It is your softer side. What we would know as a feminine side. The masculine is more, I'm going for it. I'm working hard for the money. I'm setting things up. I'm using my mind more. Not that women don't use their mind more. When I spoke a couple weeks ago, the masculine side, it can force maybe more violence in some situations where the feminine side would not do that. And so we want that balance of the feminine and the masculine in order to have the energies that we want of growth and fulfillment and happiness and peace in this world, and not have them, out of sync. And so that's a law that's necessary. It's, while it's considered a natural law, it's really a key to balancing the energies of this universe. So these are the laws, and you don't have to know about each and every one of them, but an overview of, again, knowing that what you put out, you get back, that the universe is responding to you, to be in balance within yourself, be of healing within yourself, be fearless, go towards achieving greater harmony and fulfillment in your life. And you'll be working with them effectively. But know, then, when the good stuff runs out for a moment, that's natural law. It's bound to happen, right? But it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean you deserve it. And please know always that you are worthy, right? Because we've been taught, instinctively or in our programming that, things don't always work out for me. That type of energy. They do. But sometimes there are natural laws that are in force that are working their energy around you, and you're a part of it. It's not happening to you. It's happening in spite of you. So keep that in mind as you tackle this game of life, all right? And like me, try to make it, a game. Try to see what you can manifest. Learn, read, know. Enjoy being the powerful being that you are. It's so, so very important to know that you are powerful and that you're not small and you're not random and you don't have bad luck and you don't have good luck. You're just part of this whole solar system, this whole divine matrix, and a very, very important part of it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, I'm a bit tired today, so this podcast, perhaps was not, again, as smooth as I would normally love it to be, but I hope that you were able to follow along. And once again, follow along with me to be a student of this universe. We can help each other to live the best possible life. And go on to my website, lisahop.com. And once again, if you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. And also follow me on my business page of Facebook and Instagram too. All right. Thank you so much. I hope if you're listening to this on Sunday, you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next time.